Good morning. You are with Tony Tesler. That is me. I am just trying to find my bring my video up so I can see everybody's comments at least. Why? Let me refresh. Oh, here we go. And I think I may have to turn my volume down. There we go. Okay. So say hello if you are here. Otherwise, do a little hashtag replay. And hopefully my comments will keep rolling up so I can see them. Okay. So today, Thursday, what's today? September 17th. Yeah. All right. So today I wanted to show you no line coloring. And there's 3 different ways I have found. They're basically the same technique. It's just what you use to color and different paper. But first, let me show you some cards. I actually did, hey Tracy. I actually did get a batch of swaps, but I haven't had time to like take them out of the plastic wrappers and all that, you know, because there's a big glare. So I'll show those next week. I got like 20 of them. And I actually got some of mine back for extras for some reason. I guess people didn't play. So I may give those away. But so let me show you these 2 birthday cards I got. This one's from my friend Diane. And I love it. It's a, you know, little half fold. This is the regular size card, and then you score it. But look at this. It's the leaf die, and then she's got the waterfront, a little scene in there inside the leaf, and then sponged all around it. I love it. And then this with the trees. This reminds me of Lovely as a Tree, but I really don't know what set it's from. Maybe it's, oh, I can't think of the name now. But the other tree. Anyway, I love those colors. And this one was from Peggy. I love it. First off, we did bleaching like a month or so ago. We played around with that, and I love the effects of this. I think this is wasabi or garden green or something. I'm not sure, but I love the little butterflies cut out and the bleach on the green. I love it. But what I really like most about Peggy's envelope is look at this. Hand doodling and all the colors. Love it, love it, love it. So, thank you again, Peggy. Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so let's get to it. The first one, I didn't actually finish this. I only did this halfway because it takes so long. But this is the technique that I do love this, the effects of it. So, no line coloring. Normally when you hear the words, you hear no line watercoloring. So we're going to do watercoloring, but we're also going to use watercolor pencils, and then I'm going to show you how to use the Stampin' Blends, the alcohol markers, to get the same effect. So that's why I just call this no line coloring, because it's not all watercoloring. But watercoloring is the first one that everybody always thinks of. So for all 3 ways that we're going to make our cards today, the gist of no line coloring is you start with a very light ink, you stamp off so you get a lighter image. That's what I've done here. And I'm using watercolor paper on this one, Sahara Sand. But then you just use this as a guideline to color over. Now this is a little bit more sparkly than normal because I added some Winkostella. But do you see how we've got like, it really does look like watercoloring. I used a lot of water and some inks. And then here I used 2 different colors. And I like that effect. It looks, you know, very much like you painted it. So I'm just going to show you. I did half of it because this takes so long. So you stamp off once. Let me add that. I'm going to do more flower. Or more leaves. and one more down here. Okay, so that is that for this card. Now we're going to get to the watercoloring part. So I'm using these 4 colors: Just Jade, Granny Apple Green, Magenta Madness, Flirty Flamingo. So you'll want a palette of some sort. Now I've had the ink on these blocks since Monday or Tuesday, and it may have dried up a little, but it's still good. Like once I put my pen on it, it's gonna be just fine. Now I'm using some of our new water painters. There's 3 sizes. This is a smaller one. This is what I'm gonna use today. The finest tip. This is a bigger one. And then this other one is like a fan out brush tip. What I found with these is it seems like the caps screw on backwards. It's not intuitive. Like normally you would go righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, and this is righty to get it off, righty-loosey and lefty-tighty. It's completely backwards, and I don't know why. But that took me actually a good couple minutes to figure out why I couldn't get this cap off to put the water in it. But I like, you know, the feel in your hand, and they've got some, you know, you squeeze it. So I like it. So we need a paper towel also to brush off, get our water going, and just in general. So a couple tips with watercoloring. You can either go wet on dry or wet on wet. And I think you get a better effect when you do wet on wet. So we're gonna get our pen going, just squeeze out a couple drops, get that wet. And when you're doing this, we have to pick petals that do not touch, because once we get this wet and put the ink in it, if we do one right next to it, that water will touch each other and it'll just blend in together. We don't really want that, so let me show you. So I'm gonna start with this one, and I'm gonna get it wet first. And then this one touches that one, so I'm not gonna do that one. I'm gonna come over here, I'm gonna skip and go right over here. And I'm coloring right up on top of the line. And then, so I'm not gonna do this one, I'm gonna do this one. All right, so I'm getting those wet. And I started with the magenta first. And so you just touch it and the water takes it. All right, and I'm gonna let that sit there. Same thing here. And then some more over here. Now hopefully I'll get the same result that I got here, so they'll match when this is all over. So now I can't do another petal. Let me get a different pointer thing. I can't work on this petal because this one is wet. I can go ahead and do this one and maybe this one and this one over here. So you kind of have to work where you can. And don't worry that this is pink coming off of here. I do see that, and that's okay because I'm still using the same color. When I go to do the leaves, I want to clean this off. All right, so I'm getting that wet. Then I wanted to do this one, and for right now, I'm only putting the water about halfway up the flower because I want to use the Flirty Flamingo on the tops of the flower. See here, I've got the 2 different colors. So more water will be more movement of the ink. And I think I was going to do this one. There's a little piece down the side. Painting. Like I said, I do like this. It's just time consuming, and that's why I only did half of it. I pre-did half because I want to show you 3 ways to do it, not just this one. I like that. See how that spreads out? Nice. Okay, and this is the other one I did. So this has a really teeny fine point tip. which is great. So you can do some painting with it. I'm just trying to touch it so the ink takes it and goes into the water. And I want to go right up to and cover the line that I've stamped. Now see how this is darker over here? I think I didn't have as much water, so that's more of a wet on dry effect. And that's okay. All right, can I do any others? Nope. Oh wait, I can do over here. All right, so again, I'm not worrying that my pen is still pink because I'm still using this color. And that runs right over there. So now we'll add our color, and then I'm going to switch and do some of the leaves while this is drying. Now you could take your heat tool or your dryer. Hey, Jamie Gibbs. You could take your heat tool or your little mini dryer like I have and dry this, like make it dry real quick. But I like to let it dry on its own, which is what I did over here. It does have a slightly different look. All right, so this, I'm just running this until it runs clear, and I hope I have enough water. Ugh. All right, now the leaves, I actually did, whoa, I used two colors. I used both colors, Just Jade and Granny Apple Green. But I did like the whole leaf, so let me just show you. So put that in there. And since these aren't touching, I can do all these leaves. And I actually did them a couple of times. Like I hit it 2 or 3 times with color. All right, let's go there. Now going right to the edge, this is gonna make sure we cover up that line. All right, and I did the Granny Apple Green first. Like I said, just touching it, touching the ink tip in there with the tip of this water brush. And then the ink will move around. Now if you don't have a water painter, you can use just a paintbrush and a cup of water. That's the same exact effect. Get that right in that tip. Yeah, I bought some new paintbrushes from a site that I haven't really bought a lot from. And I was very disappointed, but then I realized you get what you paid for. I mean, it was like an $8 set of paintbrushes. But when I got them, it's like they were for children. So, disappointing, but I should have known. If it's too good to be true, it's probably not true, right? Okay, I like that. All right, I'm gonna run that clear for a minute and have a sip of coffee. Oh, and you know what I just realized is I didn't pick out a greeting for this. So my idea was to finish painting this one, and then I want to emboss something in gold right here. But I need something bigger. Let me see. Oh, and this flower came from the To a Wild Rose set. Let me see. True Friendship is one of... Let me see if this will fit. Yeah, that'll work. But that's definitely going to cover up some of my flowers. But that's okay. All right. I'll leave that. So I am going to have to use my Stamparatus for that. Because since I'm going to try to emboss on watercolor paper is very lumpy. You know, it's not smooth. Oof, look at that. Now I have to do some embossing there. I put my finger right in that. See, this is another reason why patience is a virtue. There's really no fixing that. I'm going to have to do some, maybe some sprinkles of gold. Thinking. Dang it. I did that last night on another card, the next one that you'll see. Alright, well, let me try to not touch those flowers anymore. I'm going to go back and now add the top of each petal that I already colored, I want to go and add the flirty flamingo. So let me just go in and add my water. And all the way up here. You don't know how much this bothers me. Ugh, good Lord. All right. Now you can add like a drop of water. That will really get a lot more movement. I will show you that in a sec. All right, touch this. And this side over here. Did I do this one? I must have. Okay. And this I definitely did. Actually, let me turn it a little bit so I can come in from the side. So you see where this kind of this line is? So I'm just trying to bring this flirty flamingo down a little, just to give it a little blend. And this one. And actually then I will show you what I did on one of these. I can't remember. But after I was coloring it, I did just give it a drop of water, and that's what really takes a while to dry. I can't tell. I need this to be a little bit darker. Did I do that? Yeah. I can't see what I already put water on, you know? Okay. So Jamie, what have you been working on lately? All right, now here I'm going to go one little drop and spread that around. So that's going to make the ink move within this petal a little bit more. One more drop there. And I'm just spreading it around. All right, I'm going to do a one drop here because I don't really care for those lines so much. The extra water will just make it blend. Unfinished projects. Yeah. I hear ya. Yep. Alright, so that has to dry. I'm going to go back to these. More water. Because now I want to add just some bits of Jade. And I wasn't really trying to like match up the lines. I just wanted to get some of this darker green in here. Because I am going to go back with more grading apple and more water. That's how I got these lines. It's like a water stain mark, you know? I put like a drop of water and it spread out and just let it sit. So that's kind of what I'm going to do over here so we have the same effect. All right. Run this water. I'm still trying to think. How can I get rid of that? I can't really. Sorry, excuse me. But I am going to find some, let me get my itty bitty backgrounds. That's like Old Faithful for sprinkles. And then we'll just have to try for the best, or hope for the best. Jeez. Alright, so now, pick it up from this other side that's dry. So can you see the angle how this is still like very wet? Excuse me. That is the only downside to this technique, is that it does take a long time. I'm going to try to, so this area in the middle, I'm going to use the gold Wink Estella that I have. I'm going to go in here. And maybe here. Try to add color wherever I can. Yeah, and it looks kind of like a blobby mess for a while. I'm gonna try here. So again, don't worry that this is already pink. That's left over, because that's gonna be the same color anyway. Oh, my video just said, sorry, we're having trouble playing this video. Let me, it still says we're live, so whoever's watching, comment so I can see it on my phone if the video cut out or not. I don't know why, time out. So see on my video, it's saying, sorry, we're having trouble. Let me do a refresh again. Okay. There I am. Play. Oh, we are good. So, okay, good. All right, thanks. That's weird. It just cut off on the iPad, but my phone was still going, but all right. Still good. Okay, station break. All right, so this, I don't see any shine, but I know it's still wet. But I'm gonna try, I'm just gonna go in here and add some more water because otherwise we'll never get through this. And here, and let's do over here, and right in here, right. And then with the magenta. Yeah, I think it's really cool though, the minute you touch the color in it, and if you've got enough water, like it really just grabs it and then spreads it out. Okay, one more. No interruptions on your end. Okay, good. All right. And then, yeah, I hope I have enough water to get through this. I'll have to switch brushes. Clearish. So the tip of my brush, that's going to be staying pink for a long time. But no worries. It's not going to affect anything. Just like, you know, blender pens or whatever, once they run clear, they're good. All right, I'm putting more water in. And I'm going to go back with more Granny Apple Green. Yeah, you really do need watercolor for this, watercolor paper, just because you're using so much water. I mean, it's in the name. All right, now this is where I'm going to do one drop, another drop, and one over here. And then I'm gonna just let those dry. And we actually may have to like set this off to the side and come back to emboss it at the end and finish it. So let me get the rest of this color in here. So now I'm gonna go back with the Flirty Flamingo. Put that all over here. Here. Hopefully I can get all these areas. Yep, and I do want it in here too. That's probably supposed to be a leaf, but right now it's going to be a flower petal. All right, and in here. All right, I think I've got everything, so let's add this. So you can see it is coloring, it's covering up the lines. You could even have stamped off with the Sahara sand maybe twice. I did that at first and that was too light. I couldn't see any of the lines to see where I was supposed to be coloring. So I guess it's just up to you, like how good your eyeballs are. And it made me realize that I don't have a lot of stamps that are like open coloring like this. Like it was slim pickings to figure out what I was going to use. And I think that's because I'm just not drawn to color art stuff, because coloring is not my first choice. Alright, now this kind of looks like a blobby mess, but that's what the other one looked like. That's what this one looked like at first too. So let me get another water, help it move. Alright, water here. Yeah, I am convinced I'm gonna leave this to let it dry on its own, and we're gonna come back to that. And I'm just pouncing more water on it just to try to give it a little bit more movement. Yeah, I like it. Alright, now let me move these out. I could just wipe them off, but I don't know that we're going to be completely finished with them. Alright, this is always the trick. Like, where can I put something? Let me move this around. I need that. And I don't need that. And let's put that here. Let me wipe off my hands a little. Alright, and get these ink pads out of the way. Alright, so I am going to set this off. We're going to move on to the next one, the next technique, and see how much water I've got, especially on these leaves. So yeah, I do want that to dry. So let's set that off, and I have to set it flat because if I lean it, the water's just going to go this way, you know. You don't want that. All right, I'll put this somewhere safe where I won't forget it. All right, so the next way to do the no-line coloring is with watercolor pencils. And see, I got a little blob there, so this card is already dead to me, besides the fact that I got this a little bit crooked. But again, we're going to start with, I've got my base here. So this is going to be Early Espresso card base. And then this is a Terracotta Tile layer, which it's not quite the same, but I wanted to use it, and it looks good enough, so that's that. All right, and now this I'm going to use thick, Whisper White thick. Now the reason for that is with the blender pens, so we're going to use watercolor pencils and blender pens. Now, you can use these with regular Whisper White or Very Vanilla cardstock. It'll be totally fine. It's just the more you add the blender pen, this has some kind of solution in it, it may pill up your paper. So the thick is a better idea, but not critical because we were using this technique, 20 years ago before we had thick cardstock, and everything was fine. We were none the wiser. Excuse me, needed coffee. All right, so let's start with stamping our pumpkins and the wheat stuff in the Sahara sand. All right, so I'm going to stamp off once, and I didn't do too good of a job last time. I kind of wanted a little scene like that, and then maybe some pumpkins. Oh, and this is I'm using the Gather Together. This was a bundle last year, which they brought back in this year's holiday catalog, and I'm doing the Ornate Thanks. They're so grateful. All right, so bigger pumpkin, and again, stamp off. And I can't really see. All right, good. And I'll put one here. And then we'll do the little pumpkins. So this one may be just a tad different. Okay. I like it. I'm going to go with it. All right, so ink away for now. And these stamps finished for now. Now let's get to some coloring. So the thing about, this is actually 2 sets of watercolor pencils, and I just mixed and matched them. You know, I just threw them all in here, and I keep some blender pens in here. And this is the regular size stamp case holder. So these do have the names on them. I'm going to use Cajun Craze, Calypso Coral, and Pumpkin Pie. Then I used Old Olive for the stem. And then I went with Crushed Curry and the brown, Early Espresso, for the wheat bits. All right, let me see. That pen looks good. So yeah, I just keep mine stored in this case, and then I have it up on a shelf where I forget to use it. I forget to look up there. So that's how that goes. All right, let me start with the wheat ones first. And this wasn't like an exact thing. I was just like trying to get the color marks in there and follow. You know, I want to use that, the Sahara Sand, the stamp image as a guide, and yet cover up all that, the stamping. All right, and then I'm going to go back in here with some of the curry. And this one, I'm just going to do all curry. And over here. And I'm just being quick about this, not only for time, but because you don't have to be so precise about it. It's just about getting, you know, coloring. There we go. And let me do this. And then add some curry. And some curry here. And then I'll go over to these. Yeah, seeing this stuff makes me miss, like, we would go to the cider mill, and besides the fact that it closed, I don't know if that kind of stuff is still open. I mean, I would imagine, you know, farmers have still planted all their pumpkins and stuff. They gotta do something with them. Yeah, see, my comments quit, hey Chris, I wonder why is this that my comments won't keep rolling up. This is quite annoying. Alright. Well, hopefully if you have an important question, it will come up. Alright, and more with this wheat. And I'm going to do one here. And then back to the Early Espresso. Add some there. All right. This looks like a scribbly mess, but it will look better, I swear. All right, so for the pumpkins, I do want to start with the darkest color around the edge. And this is where I'm going to cover up these lines. And these pumpkins, these are kind of like sketchy anyway. I mean, they do look shady, don't they? No, I'm kidding. They're like sketched. So I'm just following these lines loosely. And this one. So I don't know if you can tell already, but this is much faster than using the water pens in the ink. But it's also a different effect. So, you know, I think this might be just my iPad because just said having trouble playing again. Yep, and there I am. So it's obviously not a situation. Maybe I need to do an update. Okay, so back to, this is with the Calypso Coral now. And I'm just, you know, going next to, just adding this second lighter color. And not being all that careful with it, because it's going to blend all together. And now I'm adding the pumpkin pie. And if I'm shaking the table, I apologize. All right, and then I didn't use 2 colors of green for the stem, just because I didn't feel like it. Creative license, right? Okay. So that's all the coloring. That was pretty quick. And I'm going to get all these back in here. And this is just, I shake them around until they fit. All right, and then the blender pen. So blender pen, you want to do all the same color. So like I'm going to do all the greens first. And this is just smoothing out all the color marks, like the pencil marks. And then we scribble it and twist it and turn it until it runs clear. And then we go to a different color. And now I will do the curry. Now I'm not going to worry too much that it's going to blend in with the espresso down there. All right, and then again, scribble it out. And let's do the brown now, espresso. So you see when I'm coloring it, like it really is a little abstract. And that's okay. And let's do down here. Now these blender pens do wear out eventually. But what I used to do is I would keep them when they would get, there's 2 ends and they're both the same. They're both the same tip. It's not like there's a skinny one and a fat one. They're both the same on each end. But once they totally get dried out, I would keep these around and then I put a sticker on it and I would use it for bleach so that you always have something and that you know not to use it in anything else like colors. But they last a long time. All right, so that's it for the espresso. And then we will start going in the orange. Now I am not trying to like color every color separately. I'm blending it, I really am blending it all in, mix matched. Because all 3 of those colors are still gonna be there. And they're playing together nicely. Because a pumpkin's not like, you know, really all the same color. And I just want it to smooth out those pencil marks. That's it. I'm not really trying for a masterpiece here. Okay? So I've got some white spots, some lighter spots, and that's okay, because that's what I want. All right, so I want to run this clear before I put it back in my container. Some of the colors do take a little bit more, there we go, to get them clean. Like especially the blues and the purples. You really gotta drag those for a while. All right, that is that. Now let's stamp So Grateful, and hopefully I'll get it straight this time. So I'm gonna do this in early espresso, like right there. And then I've got my little terracotta tile that I'm gonna add the little words to. This is for everything. So grateful for everything. What is everything? I don't know. I'll find someone to send it to. Alright, now I do need to pull this a little closer so I can get it, try to get it straight this time. Okay. Hopefully that's good. Let me see. Oh, eek. A little bit off. Alright, and now I'm going to put this for everything just under. Okay. I like that with the two different colors. And here's the thing, I just noticed. So with these linen cubes, and actually any linen ink pad, sometimes you'll see little strings hang off. You have to cut those off because otherwise they'll act as a wick, and like your ink will want to seep out through it. Like it'll all go down the sides. So you want to get rid of those. I used to have that a lot with the older style pads, especially if I was real rough with them. It would make them, you know, come apart. Okay, so let's put this away. Now this I'm just going to tape to the terracotta tile layer and then tie around some linen thread. Yeah, a little bit crooked. I thought I could get it straight, but you know, I should have used my Stamparatus, but for something like that was supposed to be quick, I don't like to drag it out. Okay, so let's layer this. And I already cut my length of linen thread, and remember this is the workshop freebie thing for this month. I colored it some with in the Halloween workshop a couple weeks ago. This is just a good fall accessory anyway. All right, now I'm going to tie this and then I will move it. All right, and now I'll just scooch it. Scooch, scooch. Oh yeah, and I like it like that. I like that. Cut the extras off. And then I'm just going to glue this to the front of my card. You could pop it up if you wanted, like with some dimensionals. Probably the black dimensionals would look better. Since it's colored cardstock and the base is dark. Once you know it, I put it on the side. That probably should have been the back. It is always something. Good Lord. All right. You know, this is nuts that I don't know why these comments won't keep rolling. All right. Now this, I feel like it needs still a little something. I didn't put anything on our sample because honestly, once I did that to it, it was dead to me. But I do want to put some little gold. Let's use some of these gold glitter enamel dots. And I don't know if these are in the catalog per se. I think they're on the online, just on the website, because they were from last holiday. There was like some, you know, special suite of stuff, and it was part of that, but they kept these. So I think you would have to go to the online store to find them. And that there. And two more. Let's just use these two since they're at the end of the road. Oops, it's stuck to my finger. So yeah, these, I tend to have to like pop it off of the plastic first and then get my little tool under there. There. Oh, I like that a lot better. A little bit blingy. It was just a little too plain before. But so this is the no line coloring with watercolor pencils and blender pens. So that is number two way. All right. Actually, I'm gonna dump that right in the garbage because I hate it. I hate it with that it got wrecked. All right, I need a sip of coffee, and then let's check this. Still wet. But see here how I got a lot more movement? I wanted that. So, yeah, that's exactly how I wanted it. So I just need these two leaves to dry. Oh, wait a minute. No, I forgot. Ugh. All right, back to this. So I don't know if you can tell, but there is a little bit of shimmer here on the leaves. Where's my pen? These are still wet, so this one I need to add some more water. What I did was I got those wet and I took the gold Wink of Stella and just touched this in here, and then the gold, that's gonna spread in that water. And then I might as well just tap it here too. So when that dries, oh yeah, much darker. Nice. So when that dries, it's actually, the gold doesn't show up so much in the leaves as I was expecting. Like when you see it here, you're like, oh, that's really gold. That's going to be cool. But when it dried, it was just a hint of shimmer, hint of gold. But that's good enough because I really like that. All right, so put that back to dry. And we will do our third card, which is going to be with blender pens. Blends, Stampin' Blends, the alcohol markers. So it's the same principle that we've done before. We're going to stamp our images, excuse me, in the Sahara sand, stamped off once, and then we're just going to use the outline as our guide to color it. So this, I really like how this turned out because you really can't see any of the lines. And then I added some of the Artistry Bloom sequins. So let me get this other stuff out of the way that we are finished with anyway. Okay, so let me start. So now this is Seaside Notions that I'm using. Seaside Notions. And again, I know this is not seasonal, but this is, made me realize I don't have a lot of outlining images that I could color in. So this is one of them. So that's how I decided on that one. So I've got Bermuda Bay card base. And a basic black layer. Whoops. Stuff is flying. Now in this case, I'm using shimmery white cardstock. I like to use this when I'm using the Stampin' Blends just because it handles it better. It still bleeds through. Like all your alcohol markers bleed through your paper no matter what. That's just the nature of the beast. But the shimmery is a little bit sturdier. I also use the thick, either Whisper White or vanilla when I'm using the blends. Regular cardstock, it just doesn't hold up well at all. with the alcohol markers. You'll see a lot more pilling, like it'll pill up your paper. And it bleeds a lot more, so that's why we don't do that. All right, let me just set that up there. Hopefully it won't tip over. All right, where did I put the here we go, Sahara sand. So we'll start with the coral, and I started like down here in the corner, and then I just put it right on top to like make it like it's tall, and then one here, and a full size like up here. So we have kind of our little seascape. And then I did some sprinkles of sand. This was full strength. Actually, I'm going to do that later. I think I did that after the fact, because if I do it now, when I color it, it'll change the color. All right, and then our seahorse is going to fit right, I don't want him to touch all the other colors. Right there. All right. Now, when you're coloring with the blends, you kind of have to guess at like where your shadow's going to be, where your darker bits. And I'm using the skinny end, the bullet end. This is Calypso Coral, which I don't know if we still sell this. But any of your oranges, just pick some. I like the darker. This is the only one I have left. Like, I don't have light Calypso Coral because it dried up because I used it so much. So anyway, I just go in and like try to put these darker bits in different parts. Like, I'm not really good with, oh, this should be a shadow here or a darker bit here. I just try to make it like even, you know, a little bit here and there, like just to add different points of interest. Go here. And then I'll go like that, maybe some of these dots. And this is quite a bit of coral to color. So these blends using this way, this is fairly quick too. I mean, if you had a, you know, depending on your image, like if you had a little bird, that would take no time. So right now this looks like crap, but do not worry, it will look better. And you know, I don't know why, you could probably do this with regular colored pencils. Like how we have that Gamsol, Jamie, how we've done that with the color our stuff and then blend it in. I don't know why that wouldn't work either. That's something to try. Go there. So I'm just trying for like, you know, left, right, left, right. And I'm only using like a lighter and a darker, like 2 shades, not 3, just because I didn't want to get too crazy with it. So that's that. Now I'm going to go in, still using the bullet end, and I'm just going to color right over all of this. And following the lines. Now the reason this works with the blends is, you know, you need a water-based ink for your alcohol markers. Excuse me. So if you used like StazOn or something with the alcohol markers, StazOn would actually bleed because you need opposites. So alcohol markers, water ink. If you have water markers, like the regular markers, or even just what we're doing with the water paint and the ink, then you need a permanent ink if you didn't want it to bleed. All right, now I can tell I kind of got like out of the lines there a little bit, but no one's really gonna know. And this is covering up the lines pretty good. Like the outline, you know, that we stamped. Man, I feel like I'm congested today. I thought I could quit taking that Flonase stuff, like for my allergies, because I thought, well, fall allergies should be gone. But then I couldn't breathe for a couple days, so I just gotta wean myself off. But I do feel a little nasally and congested today. All right, so I'm liking that. I can't remember exactly what coral looks like in real life, but this is going to be good enough. I just wanted it to have some color variation, you know? Plus, using the shimmery paper, I just like it because of the shimmer. All right, one more down here. Yeah, that looks good. And one more. Tell you, this is actually going quicker than I thought, although, ooh, it's almost 12. Yikes. I knew it would be hard to get this all done in an hour. That was what I was trying to do. So I apologize for taking longer. But some things you can't rush, even though I tried. All right, let's color this. All right, yeah, I like that. And you, of course, could use different color for your coral. I'm going to go ahead and stamp the sand. And I'm just doing this right across. And that's done with that. All right, now for the seahorse, I'm using medium Coastal Cabana, which is, again, an older one, and dark Pool Party, which are not Bermuda Bay, but it looks good. So that's all that matters. All right, so just outlining, not necessarily everything, but some. Like the stripes or these lines, yeah. But I'm not going to hit every single one. And some I'm just making little dots of color because the alcohol, it spreads anyway. And one there. All right, one. And then again, now we'll just go and color it in. And dark Pool Party. Something about the alcohol markers. So see, when I'm coloring, we can still see the lines from the darker color, but I don't know if the alcohol like keeps moving around like until it really dries in your paper. But when it dries, it does get this effect. So it's like these harsh lines disappear after you let it sit for a while. And I mean, I like that. I think it's neat. it's just hard to know when to stop. You know, if you're expecting it to everything be nice and blendy immediately, which is what I was expecting. I just don't use the alcohol markers nearly as much as maybe I could, but there we go. Okay, so he's gonna look better tomorrow. But for now, I want to stamp the words. I like this VersaFine for words. It's a nice crisp black, but it does stay wet for a while. Actually, I'm going to put this one down here because of where he landed, kind of in the middle. See here, he was like over to the side a little bit, and on this one, he was more in the middle. So that changes where I want to put it. Alright. So yeah, that does have to dry for a minute. Let's go back and check our flowers, because I may have to hit it with the heat gun. No, okay, that's looking pretty good. Pretty dry. I do like, there is more gold sparkle on these, so maybe I just didn't do it enough on these ones. But I'm still happy with that. Okay, now, I'm letting that dry. Now I'm going to go back with the clear Winkestella. And, oh, hey, Virginia. You like the pumpkin card? For some reason, sorry I didn't see that earlier. Like, my comments, they're not scrolling. Alright, so I'm going to add the Winkestella clear, and I'm going all over this flower. Nice. Okay. And then we'll let that sit. And I apologize that I'm having to go back and forth on this card, but this technique really does take a long time to sit and dry. So that's that. All right. I want to make sure that's dry. Okay. Ugh. See? Even on the back of the shimmery, it bleeds through. But that's okay. That's just how it goes. Oops. All right, so I'm mounting this on black. And I did pop this one up with some black dimensionals that I had right here. Of course, oh, here we go. So again, I'm trying to use up my little ones. Yeah, I don't like this congestion. I was hoping I would not need to take that Flonase stuff forever. But I might have to go back to it for a little bit. Ooh. Okay, almost done. No saggy bits. Just peel these off. And then once I get this one put together, we'll go back and emboss the greeting on the rose card. Oh, you know what? I could make Thinking of You. Because I didn't like how those other words were going to cross over onto my flower. So, or birthday. Why didn't I look at that Seaside Notions? That's a trick, is finding a greeting that fits your space. It's always, sometimes it's harder than it should be. All right, let me get this hopefully straight and even. Yep. Cool. And then, like I said, I finished this off with some of the Artistry Blooms sequins, and I think I used all of them. So this is the raspberry, which actually looks good with this darker orange. And let's do the blue. I'm just kind of going to go like similar to what I had already, so I don't have to like rethink it on the fly. Then one of these darker ones, this is Calypso. I'll put him like right there. And then a larger, I think this is Mango Melody. Ooh, actually, you know what? Yeah, let me use a little one because of that word being right there. So I like that. I like these colors. I like that these sequins are self-stick and they don't have the hole in them. Like that they're solid. Okay. So there's those two. He's more in the middle. He was off to the side. And that was all because of where my coral ended up. So I like that. Okay. Put that off. I'll bring those back. So I decided I'm going to do, yeah, birthday. Because that will fit right here. Thinking of you, yeah, we're going to stick with this. Okay. So I need, since I'm doing on watercolor paper, that does not always ink up perfectly the first time because of all the texture. And actually, I'm going to have to use my Misty because my Stamparatus has other stuff on it. So poor planning. All right, so let me get this. I'm going to move this. Oh, I see my video swirling again. Let me do a refresh. Tell ya, something's going on today. All right. So I'm going to put my card in here. Oh, and you know what? I need my embossing buddy first for since we are embossing. Now I'm really going to hit it all over just because there's so much water that we used, you know? Okay. And then I'm going to try to emboss some sprinkles on there too. Alright, so I want this to kind of go here. That's straight. Alright, now. So this is how I do that. I put the stamp kind of where I want it to go, and then I open it, and I use the grids to make sure I've got it straight. All right, that is straight. Let me, yep. Okay. So I need my coffee filter and gold embossing powder. So I'm going to do this, ink it up a couple of times. Oh look, where'd that come from? I wonder what I touched that was green and not dry. All right, this looks good. Gold, Gold Glory. Had to double check. And I can tell I'm gonna have to go in here with my little paintbrush. Okay, good enough. Now before I emboss, just gonna add my sprinkles. Oh, Now this is from Itty Bitty Backgrounds, which is one of my all-time favorite sets. I can't always figure out why they get rid of stuff. Alright, so I'm trying to get rid of, let's just do it. Trying to cover up some of that gold, or that green that went where it shouldn't have gone. So let's just see how this goes. Okay, that's all I wanted, was some green bits. All right. I like it. Okay. Actually, I think I can use some more gold over here just to even it out. So let me funnel this back in. One more. And then I'll heat this up. Yeah, I needed that. Yep. Yep. Okay, now hold while the heat gun heats up. Okay, so the watercolor paper is so thick, I really had to get it heated up well from the bottom too. I like that. That little schmutz, I'm just gonna have to live with it. And hope whoever I send it to doesn't really notice. Alright, I do have to let this cool for a minute. But this, let's bring in the base. So I wanted, like I said, Magenta Madness and Just Jade. And I was gonna pop this up. Yeah, I like it. So, since this is so heavy, this paper, and it's warpy because from the heat, I'm gonna use a lot of this liquid glue. Alright, and then I can move this around a little bit, get it where I want it, and then hold it down. I feel like it needs something else, but at this point I'm just gonna let it go because it is 12:15. I feel like it could use a little bit of ribbon or something, but that will be another time. I knew, like I said, I knew it would be time crunch, you know, trying to get these three ways to do this, but I wanted to show you all of them. Ooh, so can you see this sparkle from the shimmer, from all that shimmery business? I love it. Okay, actually, I ordered some of the new Stampin' Up, the sheets of foam adhesive, but I don't have it yet. So for right now, I'm going to use this other stuff that I recently got that I like for if you're trying to cover like big areas pretty quick. And this is just on a roll. Okay. And I got this from like scrapbook.com or Amazon or something, I don't remember. It is super sticky though, so once you better have it in the right spot, because once you lay it down, it's not coming back up. At least with the dimensionals, sometimes I can pry them back up and not rip the paper. So let me, actually let me bring this right in front of my face, which I know is off camera, but I want to get it. There we go. I'm happy with that. I'm just gonna have to ignore that. Ugh. All right, so let's bring in our 3 ways. And let's do that one. So we've got water pen, aqua painter, and inks, Stampin' Blends, and watercolor pencils. So that is 3 ways that you can do no line coloring. So enjoy, and if you make something, try it out. Try one of these techniques out. And if you make something, post a picture over to my stamping and sharing group, because I would love to see it, and I would love for everybody to see what you're doing. So thanks, and I'll see you next week.